John Cena is once again the WWE Champion for the 17th time in his illustrious future Hall of Fame WWE career. But now that he is the WWE Champion, many are wondering just who will Cena defend the championship against in his quest to remove the WWE Championship from WWE when he retires later this year. We're going to go into some opponents that could possibly be set to challenge John Cena for his championship in this countdown video. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we get into today's countdown video, a reminder, you can subscribe to Wrestling News 365. Currently, we're at 21,375 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestle News universe, as we aim to get to 25,000 subscribers. The aim originally this year was 20,000. We absolutely smashed that on the road to WrestleMania, so now let's see if we can hit 25k. In addition to that, you can join the WN365 roster. Links in the video description. You can also scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. Speaking of that sidebar as well, you can see all the upcoming watch-alongs and post-shows that we've got for the month of May. That includes AEW Double or Nothing and WWE Backlash. Speaking of Backlash, John Cena is set to defend his WWE Championship at the upcoming PLE after winning the championship in the main event of WrestleMania 41 Sunday, defeating the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Now, Cena, after winning his title, revealed he's only got double digits left when it comes to actually contracted dates with WWE. He's now in the 20s when it comes to how many dates he's actually got left, and his plan is to retire later this year as the last real world champion, taking the WWE Championship with him into retirement, the lineage of the championship that goes back to the likes of Bruno Sammartino, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Roman Reigns, and more. So, who is Cena going to defend his title against? Let's get straight into it, beginning with Randy Orton. Now, we know this one for certain. Sometimes with these countdown videos, they can be a bit speculatory in nature, and we can kind of hypothetically guess and predict where things are going to go. We know exactly where this one is going to go. John Cena will be defending his WWE Championship against Randy Orton in the main event of Backlash. Of course, Backlash is on May 10th. It's in St. Louis, Missouri, and even before Cena won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, many had predicted that Randy Orton would be competing in the main event of Backlash because he's from St. Louis, Missouri. It just makes the most sense that the Viper would be competing in the main event of his hometown. And it's exactly what we got. And really, it wasn't too difficult to predict, was it, going into WrestleMania? Well, it feels likely that Cena's going to win, and that would then lead to Cena versus Randy Orton in the main event of Backlash in St. Louis, Missouri, one last time. Because, as is the case with quite a few names on this list that we're going to be talking about today, when you talk about the greatest opponents ever in John Cena's WWE career, Randy Orton's name will come up. I mean, in the mid-2000s, certainly from 2006 onwards, the main event scene for WWE, particularly on Raw at the time, was dominated by Randy Orton versus John Cena. They dropped the championship to each other multiple times throughout that period, whether it's having matches such as an I Quit match, Last Man Standing, Hell in a Cell matches, Iron Man matches, you name it. They've pretty much had every match against each other. And when people talk about psychotic Randy Orton of 2009, yes, you think about Triple H and you think about legacy, but you also think about John Cena too, as he was one of Randy Orton's biggest opponents during that time period as well. So it makes sense that on John Cena's retirement tour, he would defend the championship against Randy Orton. That's exactly what we're going to get for the last time ever at Backlash. So this one is confirmed. Indeed, John Cena will be defending the WWE Championship against the Apex Predator. Now let's move on and talk about CM Punk. Once again, when we're talking about some of the greatest rivals that John Cena ever faced during his tenure in WWE, you talk about the likes of Randy Orton, but then you also talk about CM Punk, particularly from that Summer of Punk back in 2011. Arguably one of the greatest matches in modern WWE history. Certainly when you're talking about some of the greatest WWE matches in John Cena and CM Punk's career, you go to Money in the Bank 2011, Chicago, Illinois. It was a Summer of Punk. It was CM Punk's contract was set to expire with WWE. He was the number one contender for the WWE Championship. He cut the pipe bomb promo in Vegas. We were off to the races. And then it led to a first 5-star match in a long time for WWE. One of the greatest matches, greatest atmospheres that we'd ever experienced at a WWE pay-per-view. Main event, Chicago, Illinois, All-State Arena, CM Punk versus John Cena. CM Punk gets the victory after a match that went over 40 minutes, an absolutely incredible spectacle, and CM Punk win the WWE Championship, leaves the crowd with it, blowing Vince McMahon a kiss in the process. It was an absolutely terrific main event, and of course it led to a rematch at SummerSlam, champion versus champion, and obviously other matches took place down the line as well that had Punk involved in with Cena, whether it's the following year at SummerSlam, in 2012, whether it's a planned Hell in a Cell match between the two that didn't happen. There have been multiple times in Cena's home state of Boston, Massachusetts. Of course, there was CM Punk versus Cena with CM Punk coming out victorious. So certainly, they are legendary rivals. Arguably, their greatest encounter, most recent one, was in 2013 on an episode of Monday Night Raw prior to WrestleMania 29 when CM Punk hit a pile driver. They did actually briefly square off recently in the Royal Rumble match in 2025 as well. They were the final two, of course, in the men's elimination chamber. So when it was announced that John Cena would be retiring in 2025, even prior to the heel turn and prior to winning the WWE Championship, many had thought, well, CM Punk versus John Cena just has to happen one more time. Considering both of their paths to get here, we probably never thought we were going to see CM Punk versus John Cena again after Punk walked out on WWE in 2014 and then obviously joined AEW in 2021. We just thought this one just isn't going to happen. So the fact that it could, before both men, frankly, call it a day and decide to retire, it needs to happen. As for when, certainly you could take your pick. SummerSlam's a two-night affair later on this year. You could see it happening there. It's big enough to main event the first ever two-night SummerSlam. There'll be something quite romantic about it happening at Money in the Bank. Of course, the same pay-per-view or premium live event that their arguably greatest ever encounter took place back in 2011. It's not in Chicago this time around. It's in Los Angeles at the Intuit Dome, but still, that would be a very big show. But you feel like Punk challenging for the WWE Championship against John Cena, it has to happen in 2025. Now, Roman Reigns, speaking on matches that has to happen, Roman Reigns, of course, he hasn't won the WWE Championship since he lost it in the main event of WrestleMania 40 against Cody Rhodes. And the OTC at some point, maybe once he's done with the betrayal of Paul Heyman, the wise man, siding with Seth Rollins, you think eventually he'll want to get back his WWE Championship and want to go on another WWE Championship reign that lasts over 1,000 days. Now, I don't think that will necessarily happen this time, but also any match that Roman Reigns faces off against John Cena in, he probably would be considered the favorite. Every high-profile singles match that Roman Reigns has faced off against when it comes to John Cena, certainly the most recent encounters, he has won. Whether you want to go back to No Mercy in 2017, Roman Reigns defeated John Cena. They're both baby faces. John Cena at the time was transitioning into the part-time superstar, and Roman Reigns was really solidifying his run as the face of the company during that period of time. People were actually quite surprised that it was a match that happened at a random PLE like No Mercy, but still, Roman Reigns got the victor. There was a very memorable in-ring segment on Monday Night Raw at the time when they both were shooting on each other with Kurt Angle in the ring, and John Cena absolutely got he was certainly got the edge on Roman Reigns in that exchange. Fast forward several years later, just coming out of the pandemic into 2021, we have Roman Reigns versus John Cena in the main event of SummerSlam for the WWE Universal Championship, and it was Roman Reigns at the time who was victorious. And once again, it was seen as a situation of just coming out of the pandemic, making sure they spiked ticket sales with one of the biggest matches they could do at the time, John Cena versus Roman Reigns, main event of SummerSlam. In addition to that, once again, more of a passing of the torch kind of moment. And of course, famously, after that match at that PLE, saw the return of Brock Lesnar, who confronted Roman Reigns, and then that led on to their WrestleMania main event the following year. So Reigns has the upper hand when it comes to big PLE matches against John Cena, and that's certainly something you can imagine WWE leveraging and certainly talking about if we were to get Roman Reigns versus John Cena again. As for where it would happen, you probably think once again it would be likely to take place at a SummerSlam. They previously main evented SummerSlam back in 2021. So given the fact that SummerSlam is now a two-night affair beginning this year at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, they've got to have big main events for both nights, just as they did for WrestleMania previously. So a massive main event, of course, is Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the first time in 4 years, but at this point, it certainly would be a big one, and a clash of two generations faces of the company. Now that are neither faces of the company, of course, Cena isn't the face of the company anymore, neither is Roman Reigns, it's Cody Rhodes, so you could have the two most recent faces of the company facing off against each other. That's a pretty significant main event, that one, and certainly could the tribal chief end up acknowledging the 17-time WWE champion when all is said and done. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Jey Uso. This is maybe when John Cena announced his retirement tour, when John Cena announced that he was going to be having his final year as an active in-ring WWE superstar in 2025. I don't think a lot of people were maybe necessarily clamoring for a Jey Uso versus John Cena match. Probably not, right? But given the fact that Jey Uso, he's in the main event scene right now. Jey Uso, he sells a lot of merchandise. He's very over with the crowd. Maybe this is exactly what John Cena hates. John Cena is talking about how he is the last real world champion, and he's in this negative relationship. He was in a damaging relationship, an abusive relationship with the WWE fans. Maybe he sees a Jey Uso and thinks, that's exactly what I used to be. I used to be the person. I'd come out and they would cheer. They used to like my entrances. They used to like my catchphrases. Instead of yeet, it was you want some, come get some, or you can't see me, or whatever it may be. And he used to sell all the merchandise and have all the different t-shirts and have all the different accessories. And he sees Jey Uso and maybe he tries to advise him. They're going to do to you exactly what they did to me. They're going to turn on me. They will use you and use you and use you for your catchphrases until they don't like you anymore. Then they'll start booing you. Going into WrestleMania, some were booing him, saying you're not good enough, you're not world champion material. And maybe John Cena goes, I look at you, Jey Uso, and I go, I tell you what, no, you're not world champion material. I'm going to save you from yourself. And actually, not only am I going to take the WWE championship with me, I'm going to take the world championship with me too. And maybe John Cena decides to go after the world heavyweight championship as well. Maybe Jey Uso looks at John Cena and says, if John Cena is legitimate and he's going to go through on his promise to take the WWE championship with him into retirement and the lineage and the history that comes with it, I have a responsibility as the other world champion in this company, the other only world champion in this company, male world champion in this company, to prevent this rogue world champion from damaging WWE. It's now my responsibility. I have to stand up and I have to take the WWE championship off John Cena. So maybe that leads us to something like Survivor Series. Of course, in recent years, we know that Survivor Series has been War Games. Whether or not that's going to happen this year, we don't really know, do we? All of the branding for Survivor Series so far hasn't necessarily suggested War Games, has it? They have recently announced that Survivor Series rather, is going to be branded as Survivor Series San Diego. It's going to be taking place in San Diego, California. Of course, California, a state, certainly San Diego, that is very close to Jey Uso and very close to, he's got a lot of popularity in that area. He's got family from the California era. Of course, the bloodline is very entrenched in the California wrestling scene. So that could be a situation where maybe that's where Jey Uso main events. Jey Uso main events against John Cena at Survivor Series. Would it be title for title? You never know. Would it be about brand supremacy? You don't know. But certainly they could ratchet up this storyline another level if they involve not only the WWE champion, but also the world champion. That would certainly be big and certainly would be stadium worthy, wouldn't it? So maybe Jey Uso gets his moment against John Cena before the end of the year. And finally, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, because this is where this all feels like it's leading to, isn't it? Yes, John Cena defeated Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 41. Yes, through assistance and help from Travis Scott, but you feel like all roads are coming back to Cody. The build-up to WrestleMania 41 was one of the most lopsided build-ups you've probably ever seen for a WrestleMania main event WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes consistently got the upper hand on John Cena, whether it was on the microphone, and we know John Cena is incredible when it comes to talking on the stick. The script was Cody Rhodes going to come out on top. Now, Cody Rhodes did his best, particularly on the Go Home episode of SmackDown, where the crowd was booing him. He managed to turn it around. They were cheering him. But still, he had his work cut out for him. Every kind of physicality before WrestleMania, there were 2 instances of 2 crossroads being hit on Cena. Cena never got the upper hand on Cody Rhodes. And many people thought WWE, they're doing their utmost best to keep Cody strong because they know the title is going to be coming back to him. Even the finish at WrestleMania, whether it was exposed turnbuckles, low blows, championship shots to the head, Travis Scott, Cody was protected when it came to that finish for one reason, because they're going to circle back. It feels like the inevitability is WWE will circle back to Cody Rhodes, and the person to end John Cena's WWE Championship run, his final WWE Championship run, will likely be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Now, as far as is this going to be Cody Rhodes' final match, we don't really know just yet, do we? We don't know if it's going to be Cody Rhodes' final match. It's going to be John Cena, rather's final match, because maybe it'll be one more match. Some people are thinking, well, Cena will turn babyface at least for one final match before he retires. But maybe it is going to be a case where John Cena's last match is against Cody Rhodes, and the stakes in that final match are, if Cena wins this, he will retire as the WWE champion and take the championship away. It's huge stakes, and people will tune in and buy Netflix subscriptions or Peacock subscriptions to find out if Cena actually lives up to his word and if Cody Rhodes is even capable to prevent him from doing that. So you feel like Cody, he'll be the one to end that title run. So there you go, guys. There are 5 names set to challenge John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. What are your thoughts on these names? Am I right? Am I wrong? Are some missing? Are some probably more unlikely than others? Let me know your opinions, your hot takes, all of it in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can see right there, just 25 to go until 21,400. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.